Hello and good morning, you lovely, lovely people. You know, the notion that, or the perception that some foreigners have, where they just think that we are the prize. Well, maybe it was years ago, but now, not so much. And the reason for that is, one, there are many foreigners in the Philippines, and two, many of these even Filipinos from these provinces where I am, many of them have got, they've got a better education, and they are leaving the provinces to find their own independence in the cities, Manila, Cebu, and things like this. And there are many more younger people, foreigners, coming to the Philippines. So when you automatically think, well, I'm the prize, you're not really. And you've only got to take a little look around you about, just to see how many foreign relationships with Filipinos break up, even when you're living here. So thinking that you can do anything that you want with your Filipina because you are the one who's holding the foreign passport, and you think that they will stay with you indefinitely because of the amount of money that you have or might not have, is just a total misconception these days. In fact, many Filipinas earn more than the average person coming from a foreign country on a state pension. And also, because of the price of flights these days, before the Iran war, you could get on a plane from England on a return flight for 600 quid. Years ago you couldn't get to bloody Spain on 600 quid return. Years ago, when flights were very expensive, it was only the rich who could do that. Now there are many foreigners coming to the Philippines who have only a little bit of money, and some would find it hard to actually maintain a relationship here financially, because when you've got your pension, let's just say you're on, I don't know, 60, 70, 80,000 a month, you're renting a place, and if you're not in a province like this, the rent is significantly higher. If you go to Cebu and places like that, or touristy places, very high. So the spare money that you have gets reduced. And if you're with a Filipina from those kind of places, they are not just going to be happy you're sat in the house and watching a bit of TV. Generally they are wanting to to go out, and a lot of their Filipinas are influenced by their friends, their single friends who might want to go out, or even if they're not single, they might have a foreign boyfriend with more money than what you have with your Filipina, and they are doing many more things. So it's going to make that Filipina think, well, hold on, my friends are doing this. They with a foreigner, I'm with a foreigner, but my foreigner hasn't got no money, or he hasn't got that kind of money where he can take me out and take me to the places where where my friends are going to. So thinking that you're the prize, and even here, no one will give you a second look at you, like they used to. When I first come to the Philippines 9 years ago, and some of the places that I did go to, and still do to a degree, people do give you a second look because you're a foreigner, and there are not many foreigners in that particular area. Now, you go to Cebu, no one will look at you twice because foreigners are everywhere. You are not, special anymore because of the colour of your skin and the shape of your face and the length of your nose, if you like. You're not special anymore. So the perception that some people have is where the foreigner is the prize. I think it's a terrible way to think. I think, if anything, look at it the other way round. I think your Filipina is the prize, because many of us could not, in our own countries, get someone like we have here. So who is the prize at the end of the day? Who is the prize? Go back to your own country, and you'll end up with what you can get, I suppose. But here at least you have a choice. Although that choice is probably getting less and less now, because the people or the friends of my wife's, you know, when they wouldn't even consider dating a foreigner. You know, they would prefer someone from their own culture, someone that they've got something in common with, and someone of a similar age to themselves. And that's happening more and more in the Philippines. It's happening more and more. We are not the prize. I think, to be honest, our Filipinos are the prize. And it's a horrible way to think anyway. I mean, I don't think my wife is the prize, and I'm sure she doesn't think I'm the prize. You know, I'm sure she doesn't. It's just a relationship that we have, and we are happy in our relationship. What's that? What's falling on my head? Or something probably come in the door. I do apologise for the noise, can't help it. But we are certainly not special like maybe we used to be, maybe years ago, when there wasn't many foreigners around. But like I say, there are more and more younger foreigners being able to retire in the Philippines because they have made good investments. And put two foreigners together, right? Both got the same amount of money every month. One is 40 or 50 years old, the other one is 70 or 80 years old. Who's she going to choose? You know, let's be honest about it. So the competition for the foreigners here is getting higher. It's not decreasing, people. It's not decreasing. The competition is getting harder. So just bear that in mind. I mean, you might think that every Filipino, you know, when you go in a shop and they talk to you, oh, hello, you're like, how long have you been here, blah blah, you probably automatically think, oh, you know, she wants to go out with me. She probably doesn't. She's probably got a boyfriend or a husband at home and happily married, but she's just asking because she's, you know, she might be inquisitive, and they're very friendly people. So, you know, when you think every foreigner has got a chance with every woman in the Philippines, think again, because you haven't. You simply haven't. And because Filipinos talk to you, you automatically think, I could bet that. You probably couldn't. It's all in your mind. It's all in your mind. So when you come here, people, just bear that in mind. Yes, you can find a Filipina here easily, and you can. There is no doubt about that. But go around thinking that, you know, you're the prize. I think that, you know, that's a terrible way to look at Filipinos. I really, really do. You know, like a relationship is something that it's not competitive, and it's not where one is bigger than the other. You know, because you've got the money and your wife or your girlfriend partner might not. It doesn't mean to say that you're better than them. It just means to say you can give them a better life, perhaps, and you know, maybe elevate them a little bit. But the perception, like I said, and I keep saying it, of you could get, you know, here, and we are the prize. You know, you could get who you want. It's different these days, and like I said, no one really gives you a second look, especially when you're in the cities. Even in Dipolog City, where, you know, where I go to, which, you know, we're going there today, no one will give me a second look because there are many foreigners there. It's not something new anymore. It's not new, and you know, you have to understand this. Yes, there are still some who will give you a second look and have a little talk, but not like it used to be, people. Even in the time that I've been here in 9 years, not at all. Where I used to keep my fishing boat, and that was a quite remote place, people did used to look, but you know, once they see me once, and I was down there quite often, they wouldn't give me a second look after that. And it was only because I was a new face in that barangay. You know, probably thinking, you know, what's he doing here? But that was it. Like I said, many Filipinos now, they have got better education, they have a modern, or they want in a modern way of life, and they are going to the cities. They are leaving these provinces and going to the cities to, you know, to better themselves. And many of them, when they do get a good job, are probably earning more than what you are. Than what, like a normal state pension, especially in England. I mean, there are some people who are earning 60, 70, 80,000 pesos a month. Filipinos and Filipinas. not in this province where I am, but you know, in Cebu, in Manila especially, you know, in the business places. So why would they want to date an old foreigner when, you know, they've got their own money? And as many of you say, like a relationship is transactional. Well, in some cases it is. In some cases, maybe not so. And I'm seeing more of it where the foreigners' wives or girlfriends are working. You know, they are still going to work. And I think quite right too. You know, just because they are with someone who has got, you know, like a pension, doesn't mean to say that they should give up their independence. You know, I think it's good if your partner, your wife, if they want to go to work, let them go to work. I think that's brilliant. In fact, how could we stop them? Why would you want to stop them? But I'm seeing more of that as well now. And it's a bloody good thing, I think, in my honest opinion. But we're not the prize people. Don't put yourself on a pedestal, all right? Don't put yourself on a pedestal, because it's just not, it's not like that. Unless you go in a remote place in the mountains where, you know, those people don't leave the mountains, like where my wife comes from originally. I mean, she's been here since she was 14, but where, you know, for education. But where she was born and bred, no foreigners go there. In fact, many of the people, like my wife's mum and dad, they never leave that place. They never leave that place. So, you know, when I went there once, and I've only been there once, yes, everyone is looking at you like, you know, you're from space. But that's because they haven't seen someone like yourself, a foreigner, going into their kind of village. But Cebu, Manila, Boracay, all that, they won't give you a second look. And they will be looking for a younger foreigner, if they do want a foreigner. They won't be looking for a, you know, like a foreigner who's, you know, on death's door, so to speak. And that's just my feeling. You know, it's just I have to get that out there, because I see so many you know, vloggers in the Philippines saying we are the prize, we are the prize. You know, we are not the prize. You know, why do you think they split up with us? If we were the prize, they would stay with us. They would stay with us. Didn't matter what you did, they would stay with you. You're not the prize, people. You're not. Anyway, that's it. My son's going to be out of school in a minute, and I'm sweating up sat in this car. And we're going to Dipolog today, doing our weekly shop, or our fortnightly shop, and getting some school supplies for my son, because here he's very limited. I've got some folders here, but that's about all I could get, and it's just not what I'm looking for. So we'll get some school supplies. And Zach's doing very well, and the people who've said to me, you've got to update your you know, your picture on my home channel with, it's just got Mira and Kaylin. We're in the process of doing that, people. We're going to get a family photograph done, and we will edit it, or, you know, what you have to do, resize it, and we will put it on there as soon as we've done that. But yes, I get that, people. Yes, I've got to change that picture, because it's not just Kaylin anymore, is it? You know, it's Zach. And we will do that. But listen, people, thank you very much. Have a great day, whatever you're doing, do it well, like I say. And ooh, I'm looking at some lovely those are Indian mangoes on that tree over there. Ooh. I'm surprised they're still there, because the Filipinos normally take them off before they're ready, and they, oh, what do they do with it? Oh God, they dip it in this uyap, which is like a shrimp paste. It stinks, and like ginamos. Oh, I can't do that. Anyway, people, listen, take care, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. God bless you all.